It's a very catchy tune.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Club Ep4. Today we're talking career, coins, week 1 MLS, pivoting strategy, and much more. Alongside me, our regular co-host, Ricky T, aka Sorare Mamba, and now our third member of the tripod, Johnny, aka Tornado. How you doing, boys?
All right, mate. How's it going?
You well?
Yeah, very good, very good. Repping the Man United shirt tonight to celebrate their cup success. Johnny, being an Everton fan, wouldn't know what that feels like. Beer in hand, note sheet printed out. I'm ready to go.
Good man. And Johnny, Tornado, how is it to be back?
It's good to be back. It's I'm excited to go again. A bit longer this time, I think, but obviously on the back of a lovely Everton 4-0 loss last night. So really excited to talk about it.
Loving it, mate. Loving it. We'll dig into that one soon. Don't you worry. So we're going to start with a little scouting mission. So this week, Bristol City hosted Man City at Ashton Gate in the FA Cup. Ended in a 3-0 loss, but it was a hell of a night. We'll say no more about that. But Man City are obviously on the platform, so we thought we'd do a little quick deep dive into a couple of players. Ricky, did anyone catch your eye?
Yes. Got my free scarf up here, actually. They gave a free scarf to everyone, which is a nice touch. I would love to pick Alex Scott, actually, if I could, but he's not on the platform. But he plays for Bristol City, and he's an absolute gem. I am telling you that. When they finally do land, Alex Scott, he might be in the Premiership by then, because I'm sure lots of people want to buy him. But if I could have picked him, I would have. But instead, I am going for Ruben Diaz. I'd love to give you some, really vague, knowledgeable tip that I saw come off the bench, but it's no cute answer. He's the one that stood out for me. They've definitely missed him since the World Cup, and he looks like a complete rock back there for the team. He definitely looks like a leader. They've been missing when they looked a bit fragile back there, and I think he's a certainty for the big games, which is really hard to pick in a pep team. So yeah, from a Sorare point of view, his scores are now cranked right back up. Now he's had 4 or 5 games back. They're back up to another level. He's added a goal in the last game as well. He's got that ability to put up those humongous AA scores, 40 pluses with the amount of passes he's doing back there, and playing that high line and putting those attacking passes in. Yeah, he's an absolute monster. He costs like it as well, but that's the one I'd want to have from the back line. Ruben Diaz, he's definitely the one that stood out for me from their team.
His scores are unreal.
He was also a beast. He was an absolute
Rolls
beast.
Royce, wasn't he? He was class to watch as well. Sometimes players look good, but their scores are pants. But he was he looked amazing, and his scores are a joke.
Yeah.
I need one. So, my pick from the night is still lesser known. He's well known now, but he's a lot younger. Rico Lewis. So Rico Lewis played in.
Are you trying to share your screen?
Yeah, I am. It should be on screen. Is it not? Oh, there you go.
Hey.
So
if you need some technology advice from me, mate, just let me know.
I can see looking at the background there, John. Rico Lewis, who's obviously under 23 till 2029, still only 18. First time I've watched him play live. His scores historically on Sorare are pretty patchy, but he doesn't obviously play a lot. His last 90 minutes he hit 42, which is pretty average for CDM. But he's my pick just because he was quality. He really, really stood out in terms of just ability on the ball. You got a team like Man City full of studs, in particular KDB in the middle, and this guy stood out more than KDB. So I think he can be that good. He's probably, again, I don't know if he's going to be good on Sorare score-wise, but probably one way you could just put him into your port, sit and hold him, watch the hype go, and probably make a bit of cash out of him in the future. That is if Sorare's still running, obviously.
I mean, he sent Cancelo packing off to Germany, didn't he? So
exactly, yeah, I was going to say, definitely.
You've got to be good if you're doing that.
Well, he's benching Kyle Walker at the moment as well a little bit, so
yeah,
good player.
Exactly. Yeah. John, so obviously you didn't come to the Man City game, but
I didn't. No, I didn't. I did watch the game, and it was a great game. But I thought I talk about Everton versus Arsenal a little bit, if I must. Obviously, it wasn't on normal TV, but I did manage to find a legal stream. Don't tell anyone. So I'm gonna pick out an Everton player of someone to try and gun for. Obviously, pick the whole Arsenal team over the Everton player, but I think it's pretty clear from that photo there who's the Everton player that I'm going to go for. So we were actually reasonably okay for 40 minutes on Wednesday until we decided to get nosebleeds and give the ball away, concede, errors led to goals. It was just awful. But someone who stood out the entire game from start to finish was Dwight McNeil. A lot of the times players get high scores that are sort of centre mids that maybe just pass the ball a lot, don't look that spectacular, but he was actually he worked his butt off. Like he was creating chances. Unfortunately, we don't have anyone to put the ball in the net, which is an issue. But I think he's had a tricky start to life at Everton, as of most players, because they've come into a team that's awful. But under Dyche, he's looking like a really good player. Like he's back to his old sort of Burnley self. I know that probably wasn't that great anyway at Burnley, but like it almost looks like he's playing for his dad again. Now he's got Sean Dyche back in. Like his AA scores since he's come in, since Dyche has come in. If you look at the last 5 games there, Jess, like
it's unreal.
41, 20, 41, 20, I think 14 and 12 in. And he's had a couple of decisives in there as well, I think. A couple of assists for, I think, maybe just one decisive. But, like, if we're creating anything, it's him at the moment.
Why was his AA so high in that game?
He was all over the park. Like, he was tackling, he was putting in, like, accurate crosses. He had a good couple of shots. He almost scored.
Do you think it's just he's happy to be fighting for relegation again under Dyche? Do you think
that's he's in his natural environment. But I don't know. All I'm saying is, all jokes aside, like he's young. He's actually quite a good investment, I think, to make at the moment. He's still really cheap, obviously, because he's an Everton player. But in terms of the rest of the team,
he's a forward as well.
Yeah, that's also another good thing, is he doesn't actually play up front, but he's down as a forward card, and forward.
Price gone up a little bit because he's actually on my follow list. He's the Everton player I was looking for. I thought he's a little bit cheaper, so he might have picked up a little bit on that.
Potentially, I haven't looked at his price since the game because I don't want to go anywhere near Everton players at the moment, despite owning an Everton stack. But
looks like he's gone up in.
That is a positive price chart on Sorare. You don't see many of those nowadays.
You don't. But like I said, other than that, Everton were awful. And like, if I'm talking completely not being an Everton fan, like Arsenal were incredible. Like Saka looked unbelievable. Like his score's not that great on Sorare, but he was just destroyed Mikalenko the entire game. Not that it's difficult to. Arsenal really good. Everton really poor. Same old. On to the big game.
What's new?
On to the big game against Forest on the weekends.
Thank you, Johnny. So, moving on, weekly ramble. Ricky T, do you want to start us off?
One of the news that caught me yesterday is the Club Shop news. I expect most of you picked up on it. Club Shop 2.0. Another thing for you to earn in Sorare. The coins that are going to be rewards. They're going to trade your current balance in your Club Shop to the new currency, and so that's going to be like a reward in addition to the current rewards in competition. There'll be new items in the Club Shop. You can get tickets, merch, skins.
That's really good. I really like it.
And gameplay items to improve your team, it says as well. Like first one called boosts to level up your XP or increase the number of training teams. I know I've heard a few podcast people talking about it. Personally, I actually like the concept of like being able to personalize your experience in your club and what your things stand out differently to everyone else's. But as like an add-on, I don't think it's that important. But it provides more ways to win, more ways to show off. Nice way to like be individual, but it's not really what main.
It's a bit of fun, isn't it? It's more like just a bit of added fun. I think once they actually go into the merch side, which they've teased about, haven't they? They haven't said that it's live or anything, but like, imagine getting a pair of Sorare curtains for the house, like,
or a pillow,
quality, or a pillowcase, pillow duvet set. The missus will be so happy about that.
I mean, I like it as an extra. I like doing the achievements I've always done them anyway, and getting the coins. So if I can spend them on a wanky banner instead, at least it gives me a reason to. And the only thing I was a bit iffy of is these boosts that they talk about.
I don't like it. I don't think.
I don't like the boosts.
Mega vibes. Yeah. I don't want to like be putting a superhero outfit on my Scott McTominay to like win the competition.
He's already got one. He's already got one in your eyes, isn't he? Anyway,
I don't want to lose to someone who's got like the best pair of rocket boots that week. So maybe it had its own one-off little competition niche, but the boost is the things I'm wary about. But
I agree. Yeah,
I think the exciting thing about it is the tickets, like the actual experience stuff. It's just trying to work out how attainable is it? Is it going to be ridiculous scores that people that only play super rare and unique can get the coins for? Because obviously you get more coins as you go up through the scarcities. Or is it something that like someone like me who plays in the yellow leagues and reds most of the time? Like, is it something I can grind out?
I can imagine it'll take a lot of coins to get that type of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I've already got 76,000 current coins. I bought 50 Hodor Magnusons for the laugh. So if I could swap that in for a hat, I'd be really happy. I would have happily done it to get a pair of so rare socks. I'd complete the achievements. I
mean, you happily did it anyway, and you didn't even get anything for it. You just got 50 Hodor Magnusons. So the thought of getting a hat, that's quality.
If anyone is interested in a Hodor Magnuson Limited, I still have 24, and they're currently on each. Get in touch. But yeah, club shop. I think it's about time they did some of the club shop, but let's wait and see.
Nice, John. What's your little bit of news?
Yeah, so another big thing that's obviously happened this weekend that's come to a bit of a head is the career sort of stats data provided that's been a bit delayed, i.e. basically not been done. They did pre-warn us before the weekend deadline just gone, saying it was very late morning, it was like an hour before the deadline, I think, but they said there was some issues with the data provider over there. I think they were saying that it was unlikely they'd be able to get it within 48 hours of the game. I don't know if anyone else did this, so I immediately just took all my career players out of my main teams and sort of put them all in one team. So I didn't want to get screwed over, even though other games screwed me over anyway, like LA getting called off. But since then, obviously, I think the 2 games from the game week still haven't had their stats updated, I believe.
Yeah, two didn't get scored in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that is a bit of a joke. I do feel a bit sorry for Sorare, to be honest. Like, they, don't always get everything right, but that's a tricky thing for them to try and fix when they are literally not in career doing the stats. They obviously pay for the stats to be done, and they're not getting done. So I don't know whether they can put some sort of fail-safe in the contract that maybe wasn't in there before with Opta, But yeah, the update is that moving forward, they don't see any update in terms of live scoring of career games, which for me is quite a it's a very bad thing. I mean, part of the great thing of Sorare is seeing you like refreshing, seeing your scores, like
it's experience, isn't it? Immersive experience.
Yeah, exactly, and especially for games like the other side of the world, where I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of career games. I have a lot of investment in career players, but I haven't really watched a lot. But like, it sucks, to be honest with you. So I hope they do resolve it soon. They've accepted it's frustrating, but they need to solve it really.
Has the I don't own Korean players. Has the market tanked even more in the Asian players?
It has tanked quite.
There's a lot of people looking to reduce their liability in Korea, which makes sense, isn't it? There's nothing more frustrating than thinking you would have won a card if you're AA and you landed on one of your players. But
ultimately, I think it keeps you in Sorare when it, or probably will keep me in it if it does go to shit, market-wise, is the fun aspect. So if you can't even get the live scoring on your players, that's gone.
The reason I play it is because I enjoy it, and I think I think it's temporary. I think they'll find a solution. But obviously, I don't think Sorare are Opta's biggest concern. You know, there are a lot bigger fish to keep happy. So I think it will get sorted. But I think there could be a good handful of game weeks longer where we.
Well, they already had the issue, didn't they, Korea, with some games falling in between game weeks after they changed the deadline. So I think they've just compounded that problem now with another problem. It's like it does seem like they're putting Asia quite low on their important list.
Yeah, definitely.
It's how they solve it though. Like, you know, what is the solution? It's obviously not as easy.
It is. That's what I mean. Like, it's tricky. It is a tricky one. I don't know how they're going to do it, but
I personally quite like having a Friday Asia game. Like I've got Yokohama Friday morning. I've got my last player playing to potentially win me a card. I actually quite enjoy it, but I know if you set yourself up for the season to have a certain amount of players, then it's probably going to be annoying.
I can see why they changed the deadline because it makes it better for the mainstream, I guess you'd call it, European.
Is Japan still going normally? Is that still? I know they're talking about licenses.
Yeah, J-League is
J-League's fine.
So how would you two feel if, so say the K-League is scratched, or I don't know, there's issues with it, if the Japanese league got put in with the Americas, or you did it almost like I saw someone talking about a rest of the world kind of league. Like I read that, and my initial thoughts was like, I don't want Japanese players like as my prizes.
No, I've always personally thought, if we're talking about America, I've always wanted America to be split into North and South, to be honest with you, because you know when it was just Americas, the only teams they had were MLS teams, like originally. So it kind of was just North America anyway, and then Mexico came in, which is still North America, and then obviously started bringing in Brazil, Argentina. I kind of feel like there's enough teams, big teams there now, to split it up, personally. So I'd rather they split up America rather than put Japan in there.
I've gone the other way now, because I was always I want them to break it all up as much as you can. There's so many teams to enter now, and there's so many things going on. I don't mind if they group a couple of things together just to save me the 4-hour headache on a Friday trying to get everything in. But I've always liked the J-League. It's one of my favourites. It's the one you could get into when you started on Sorare.
It's like OG, isn't it? It's like the Belgian league.
Belgium, yeah.
And Japan. It's like the first ones and Russia, I guess, a little bit. It's like
you couldn't afford the big boys in all the big leagues, so you're like, right, I'm going to go Shonan Belmare and pick up a couple of cheap defenders.
It was nice in the World Cup, wasn't it, when watching like Japan and Korea, and you're like, I know all of these players.
Yeah. Shuchi Gonda in goal. I was like, I've got him. Go on, boy.
And now he's got no utility.
Yep, I had to sell him on the cheap.
Yeah. Anyway,
right, so my sort of my bit of news, or my focus anyway this week, has been around the international game weeks coming up at the end of March. I only actually realised it today. So I was thinking about, like, will they be covered? They normally cover the Euros. It should be the qualifiers. How prepped am I? Not at all. So historically, every time this happens with internationals, I go and sell my gallery, buy all the Swiss players, lose that game week, then sell all my Swiss players at a loss, and then try and rebuy them again next time it goes international.
Solid tactic, that is.
Yeah. Do it every single time. So my plan this time is not to do that, and I'm going to try and sit and watch. But I had a little look to see like what the picks would be if you were to like invest in teams just specifically for that target in that cup two match weeks at the end of March. And massive favourites for me are Portugal in that. So they've got Liechtenstein at home, followed by Luxembourg away. And Luxembourg away, but Luxembourg's quite a nice place anyway. So it's in Europe, it's near France. It's not like a bad spot to go to. So I can see Portugal absolutely dicking both those teams. And they obviously need a win because they're qualifiers. And then Austria, my second pick, because they've got Azerbaijan at home and then Estonia at home. So again, I think they're going to dick both those teams and get pretty peaky scores. The problem you got is across both those teams, you're struggling for a keeper because Costa's stupid money, and the Austrian keeper plays in Switzerland, so he doesn't have a card. So what I think my little under the radar bit of advice there is pick up a Dubravka right now, because he's 100 for a red, or under 100 for a red and under 10 for a yellow, and he's starting keeper. And they
Newcastle guy.
Yeah, so he's not starting at Newcastle, but they've got Luxembourg that same first game week, so you can pick Portugal and Austria stacks, but with him and goal, and Luxembourg shouldn't be troubling them with any goals. So that's my little under the radar pick there as well.
Luxembourg do have a pro goalkeeper though, because
Morris.
I own him.
He is actually good.
He is quite good actually. Yeah.
So anyway, that's the ramble. On to the MLS. So MLS week 1, we had our first week finally this weekend. What do we learn? We had a harsh reminder that the MLS is super open, super random. Seattle still look legit. Definitely a very stackable team. I think most of the stacks won the big prizes. Philly are probably still the favourites to win it. They smashed a strong Crew side, particularly second half, so completely dominated them. Austin humbled. St. Louis with a great turn up. NYC were poor, as we predicted, lost 2-0. Toronto, everything's going wrong with Insigne injured. They lost 3-2 to DC. But overall, just value all over the shop still in MLS. We're going to do a little bit on standouts and letdowns from week 1. So, Rick, I'll start with you, mate. Who was your standout for week 1?
Standout. Yeah, you touched on there, but I'd have to give it to St. Louis. And, well, I suppose Klaus de Mello, if that's how you pronounce his name, got the winner for them in their first game in the MLS. Being the expansion team, winning on the road in one of the league's most energetic, crazy stadiums, not many people were giving them that chance. So yeah, they beat Austin 3-2. That was the one that featured that comical back pass, wasn't it?
I saw that. It was
unreal.
Kid makes a shout and he laid it off to him.
He used to play for him, didn't he? So he called the guy
Yes.
by I guess they used to be mates or something. And just went, "Oi!"
Yeah. So yeah, for me, the whole of St. Louis. But what a result to start with. And the only other, and a single person, Krellick at Salt Lake, was writing on last week's, and I went and picked him up, and he came back with a goal, I believe. It was good to see him back on the pitch. He looked good, got a good score. So yeah, those were the two feel-good stories for me.
He's a great player, really good player. You could pick him up 50 quid for a red in the summer. And he's their star player. John, who have you gone for your pick of the week?
For pick of the week, I've gone for Seattle in general were great. Completely dismantled Portland, I think it was. But I've gone for Jordan Morris from Seattle.
Yeah.
I think he scored 2 in the game. Still got a lot of life left in him. Yeah, he's not that old. I know he had a bad injury. I think last year he had to tore his ACL.
2 seasons ago, yeah. When he was at Swansea.
When he was at Swansea, that's right, yeah. But he's looking like a surefire to start in a really powerful attacking team. And yeah, I think he's still pretty good value, to be honest with you. Because his sort of last 15 still shows us quite low. So I think people maybe he's going under the radar a little bit. There's a lot of bigger names, I think, at Seattle with Rui Diaz and Roldan and who's the other one? I've got another guy there.
João Paulo.
Oh, your boy João Paulo, yeah. But yeah, my pick would be Jordan Morris and Seattle in general. Definitely, like you said earlier, definitely a very stackable team and not too expensive because their starting goalkeeper is quite old. So it's not too much if you want to stack them for the season.
Great pick.
I sold Jordan Morris rare at the end of last season, sadly.
Bad mistake there, mate.
Yeah.
And you did
yeah, we'll do letdowns after. So my pick of the week is Michael Halliday. So he came in this week, started at fullback. He historically has only made minor appearances. He's only 20, under 23 to 2027. He's look at his scores. So he's hardly played. He's made the occasional appearance. His scores aren't sort of massive. Even this week where he played full games, hit 46. But he's my pick because Orlando, I think, are going to have a big season, and mainly also just because of thinking about thresh teams and how hard it is to actually balance them out. His L15 is 32, and to have to hit a good thresh, all you got to do is beat your L15 effectively. And I think he can beat 32. I mean, I think I'd probably have him down for another sort of 40 to 45 next match. You're making 10, 15 points on him. So yeah, he's my pick, and I think he's massively under radar for for 28 quid for a red or 440.
That is cheap, to be fair. I think the way they work out the last 15 sort of helps when someone's got a lot of DMPs like that as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That even if he scores really well now for a bit, that average will still stay quite low, which is good for, obviously, like you said, for the cap 240s and everything like that. So yeah, solid pick that.
Ricky T, who was your letdown for the week?
I am going to pick the combined area of Los Angeles by just
The
weatherman. Yeah, for just being complete dicks and pissing on the opening of the MLS.
They proper screwed everyone over, didn't they?
Yeah, we all built it up. I can't wait for the MLS back. Carefully honed our teams. We're like, yeah, I am ready to go. And then we're like 23% of teams had someone from LA in. Cooled off because of the weather. El Trafico is in the bin. So is about a quarter of American lineups for the first week. I think that is a massive buzzkill. It was really rained on the opening weekend, literally.
Unintended.
Do you know why they did it? It wasn't just weather. Do you know what it was? It's because they wanted the record attendance. That's why they did, and because of the weather and because of the way it was all set up, they want to postpone it so they can have that game later on fixture-wise, and then they can beat the record.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Jess. Who have you read that off?
Yeah, MLS is like that. It's legit, 100%.
It's probably all like arranged anyway, like the worldwide wrestling and all that.
The worldwide wrestling.
Let's talk about worldwide wrestling.
The WWW. So yeah, I'd like to criticise the whole of LA for ruining things, but if I had to pick someone individually, I would pick Sean Johnson for meant to being the saviour of Toronto's defence and the new hero in my MLS limited goaltending division, and he was pants and scored 13. So Toronto's defence in general, but Sean Johnson, you are meant to be my saviour, and you were crap. So
that's bad.
He needs to do better next week. Although he did about 13 points better than Jordan Pickford. So,
come on, that's low. That is a low blow.
So that's me.
Fair. Johnny Dore, who's in? Who is your letdown?
I've gone for someone else I own, Jesus Ferreira.
The theme here, isn't there, of everyone you own?
Yeah, well, I don't know Jordan Morris, to be fair, but Jesus Ferreira, he's Palace's best player by far, but I think sometimes you just can't deal with the fact that if he doesn't play well, the whole team just a crap, and he just can't. He just is also. He just played rubbish on Saturday. I think they had one shot on target the entire game. Like, he was in my team. I had him captain. I don't know why I captained him, but I thought they'd do well against Minnesota, but rubbish. Not a fan. I might have to buy a new rare forward for US, I think, because he's not looking good so far.
But then look at his scores historically. He's a beast.
I know, but what
ridiculous.
Terrible stuff.
I did the same as you, John. I captained him. I put everything on him. Minnesota rubbish. I was like, they're definitely going to beat them. Reynoso's out, and then they lost, and he was pants.
All three up front were bad, but Velasco and Ariola were bad as well. Yeah,
all of them were just generally poor.
That's meant to be a talented front line. That is a.
It is, and it's not looking great. He's still young. Obviously, like I'm not gonna get rid of him or anything. Like, he's still gonna do well over the season, but I just think, big build up, home game, first game of the season, and fell flat on their face. That's my pick anyway. No good.
So who am I going for then? So we're going letdowns, aren't we? So my letdown is Vander. So Vander had so much hype. Look at his price. It's disgusting. So over 1K for a red, or nearly 100 for a yellow.
It's mad, isn't it?
He looks cool. He's got a really nice headband. But he this weekend he was hyped up to be like the difference maker at Portland, and he managed to score minus AA, so minus 9 AA, 25 total score. Played the full 90 minutes. I've seen him before when he was at Midtjylland, and he was actually really good. So I'm thinking it's probably he will probably come good, and maybe actually it's a good time to pick him up because people might be sort of down on him. So, I mean, I wouldn't go anywhere near that price, but
just find out that little 1K down the side of my sofa.
It's ridiculous, yeah. But I mean, historically, his scores are like really, really. I mean, look at that, like really good.
Yeah, he's good. I think he will come good, but not a good debut, that's for sure.
No, and it takes time. You come to MLS, sometimes it takes time anyway, doesn't it? So, but yeah, he was pants. That was my letdown for the week. So next up, we've got a new little format called called Pick'em Bin'em. So Pick'em Bin'em is where we'll go through 6 picks in total, so 2 each, and we'll go through who we think you should pick for this game week, who you might typically not, and then also who we think you should bin this game week, who you might be considering using. So, John, I'll start with this time, mate. So, who is your pick? Who's your pick for the week? Who's your pick'em?
So my pick'em, I've gone for Jeziel from Kawasaki Frontale. He was a starter. He started the season. First game, he got sent off. So great start to the season. And their new guy that they brought in for him last week, I think he's called Karumaya. He also got sent off in the second game. So I kind of feel like, Jeziel's nailed to start this game week because I think he only got 1 game suspension. It wasn't like a serious foul play or anything. And they're playing at home to Shonan Belmare, who look not that great. So I think he's probably a good bank. His scores were really good. I think the year before last, I think he had a bad injury last season. So he'd be my pick of the week, I think.
Nice. And Ricky, who is your pick of the week?
My pick of the week. I've gone really far out on a limb here by picking one of the best players on the platform in Sin Jin Ho.
Boy.
I can caveat it by saying he has moved. So he's at a new team. Last year, he was incredible. He's getting on a little bit now. But the reason I put him here is because his first opening week, he scored 33 points.
Wow.
So yeah, hadn't started well from him, and also there's the threat of the K-League, not being scored. That's more of the reason why, I think we might be on the fence with him. But I would say I would start him because his AA was still okay in his first game. It's that error leading to goal, which has really killed his score, and you wouldn't expect him to be having error led to goal most weeks. And I like their fixture. I think they've got a good home fixture, and it's early on the Saturday, so they've got the Saturday game, not a Sunday game. So I think there's a lot less risk of that one being not scored. So I'm picking someone with that already incredible chart. So yeah, my knowledge is wild. I mean, coming off a really bad week in a league with a lot of doubts, I think I would still be picking him.
I like that pick. I know he's 34, but it doesn't really matter over there, does it? And I mean, you look at his scores, that's kind of Carlos Gil-esque scores, isn't it? Plus more maybe at times. And he's considerably less.
Yeah, and age is just a number in Asia as well. Like he'll play till he's 53.
Yeah, that's true.
For me, him and someone like Chizinho, I think that they're worth the risk. As long as if they're on the Saturday, if they were in a later game on the Sunday, then I'm not sure I would be taking those risks.
Makes sense, mate. That makes sense. So, who's my pick for the week then? So I kind of covered him already. So my pick definitely for this week would be Halliday. So I kind of touched on him too much a minute ago. Really, the standout for me would have been Ahmad in terms of score-wise for the week. He scored both goals, and he was standout in the league. But I just can't look past Halliday for this price and for those scores. It's just I don't know what's happened to the screen there. We're still on it, but for that price and those scores, he's too cheap for me. So he's my pick in the week. Pick him, put him in your Thresh team, and then go. Because I think
Are we sure he's old enough to play football professionally?
It's debatable, isn't it?
Because he does look like he's about 9 years old. He's born in 2003. That is depressing, isn't it?
It's horrible. Yeah. I think my son's closer to him than me.
Yeah, probably is.
Wasn't it Garnacho scored the winner yesterday, and then they said he was born in 2004.
Wow.
That is mental. Just makes you feel so old.
Who are we chucking in the bin then? Ricky, you going to go?
I'll go. Yeah. I'm going to pick Yari Vasharan.
Vasharan. Nice.
Because he's been really good lately. I picked him up just before this strong run of form, so I've been reveling in his recent success. I think he's a really good player, and I think he'll have many good game weeks. But if there was a player when I was looking through to set my teams this week, I don't really like away to Ghent, and I thought Anderlecht might struggle in this fixture, and I'm not sure he would put in a banging score compared to what he's done over the last, say, 10 game weeks. So he's in my benchum based on the fact that I think he will have a negative performance compared to his recent form.
Nice. Good choice. John, who's up for you? Who's in the bin?
So bin-wise, I've gone for Lorenzo Pellegrini from Roma, but you can, I think, probably stick a lot of players in from Roma for that category this week. They're playing home to Juventus. Juventus, despite their points deduction, are actually doing really well. I think they've won 5 straight games, something like that. They're doing a lot better than you'd expect a team with point deductions and transfer embargoes and all that going on. Roma also, as you've probably seen, lost in midweek to Cremonese. Cremonese being a team that haven't won a game in 37 or something like that. Something crazy like that. Mourinho was sent off. Mourinho kicked off. He's got a 2-game ban. And I just think they're going to fall apart this weekend again. Pellegrini was usually a banker. He certainly was a banker for me, someone I would just plug in and play irrespective of what matchup he has. But I just think bench your Roma players at the moment until either they sack Mourinho or they start picking up some form again. That'd be my shout.
Nice. So my pick for the bin this week, Bingham. So I'm sticking with the MLS. So less of a household name, but the reason he's my pick is because his L15 is ridiculous. So even if he plays, you don't want him anywhere near your thresh team, because Portland have also got a tricky fixture against LA. But equally, because actually I think Ilic is there or thereabouts to come back and take his spot. So I can't Ivacic, sorry, not Ilic. Ivacic is thereabouts to come back, return from injury. So either way, you're losing to me. Like his L15 is way too high. He's not a good keeper anyway, and he's going to lose his spot. So for me, chuck him in the bin, sell him as fast as you can because these numbers are only going down. And that is pick and bin 'em for the week. So final sort of piece around MLS, well, it doesn't need to be MLS, but kind of strategies and fitting in with the theme. We're going to look at, based on week 1, what we know now. Are we changing our strategies? Like how are we working moving forwards? Have you got sort of certain leagues or scarcities you're prioritizing? John, I'll start with you, mate. What's your strategy moving forwards now that we've had a bit of Asia, a bit of MLS, and you've had obviously quite a bit of European football now. You've got them all playing. What are you doing?
Well, my first strategy is to hire a personal assistant to be able to help me set my teams on Fridays, because now all the leagues are back. It is just mad, especially with all the new things they brought in. But yeah, real life strategy. I think something I've learned, something that's been a real pleasant surprise to me as a Kosi Tanai owner in Japan, who's an under-23 keeper, is that he's gone back to Gamba Osaka and gone straight in as a starter, which I'm actually really surprised about. I thought they'd stick with their pretty solid old gun that was there already. It's kind of led me to sort of think about maybe trying to put together some under-23 teams for Rare and Limited. I've always like entered a team in under-23 Rare and Limited, but I've always found it a really difficult competition to win anything in. And I always used to enter Kosi Tanai in my Asian competitions, but maybe now with Korea, this whole doubt about Korea's scoring system and everything now, I think maybe I'll plough him into under 23s, and I've got a few sort of players like Cherky that I can put him with him, but I think I'm going to try and maybe buy a really good limited under 23 midfielder and a rare under 23 defender. I think that's my plan. Just need to find some money, which is always the issue. But I think, yeah, got a few ETH thresholds coming recently, so that's going to be my plan.
I'll tell you what, though, that rare under 23 defender, a good one, is hard because I've been trying to find one, and I can't decide who to get in.
What about Halliday?
Yeah.
What Halliday?
Well, that is true. Halliday's going to bang at least a 40.
It's sort of except for your boy Halliday that you've been banging on about all blooming evening.
I thought Hard was like a Korean left back you were telling me about then, not
Yeah, I thought that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I'm going to give under 23 a go, see how I get on, maybe give it a few game weeks. If I'm not getting anywhere with like 320 points or whatever I'm going to get, then I'll probably just bow back out. But we'll see how it goes.
Nice. Rick, what about you? What's your strategy?
I'm just aiming up, really, trying to clear out a bit of deadwood and I'd like to improve like my super rare threshold team, so just fleshing out the amount of super rares I've got, and I'd like to enter unique kickoff as well. I'd like to get one unique and enter unique kickoff. I've got like 30 odd super rares, so I can be putting in a few super rare teams, so I only need one unique, decent unique. I need another super rare goalie, probably a couple more rare goalies, the age-old problem. But yeah, I'm trying to build up and out is what I'm aiming for. And I've actually got a few whales open, actually. If you want a bit of live excitement.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Here are them. These are from the week just gone.
There we go.
You got your Sorare bomb ready, I hope.
You sharing your screen, Rick?
I am.
Here we go.
Here we are. So, 4 awards. We've got Tier 3 Limited from Cap 220 for 904th place, which
exciting.
Is the well-known Aussie defender, Lachlan Jackson.
Oh, Lachlan.
Lachlan Jackson.
Really
top of
like
everyone's list.
We definitely want more career players in the league they can't score. That's a really good.
Yeah, exactly. Tier 2 Champion America Rare for 85th place. I think actually El Trafico not being on helped this because I only got 343 points, which I don't think would usually be a Tier 2. But let's see if I'm getting any MLS help. Ooh, Brazilian forward from Fords Wales.
He's actually all right. That's not bad.
He's got a good name. That sounds like he's going to be good.
Yeah, he's got split in his eyebrow, which is always good sign. Really strong beard.
That is extremely strong. That could be his hair. Like, you could put him upside down and that could be normal.
Yeah, you can see no hint of chin through that. That's really strong.
That's
I saw one of the big boys playing the other day, Rick. I think it might have been Tekazim. So someone who's pretty handy anyway. So he's probably all right.
Yeah. Tier 1 for the Legends Challenge, 28th place.
Big one. This is a big one.
Let's have a little look.
Holland. Oh, go Groningen.
Merits.
Nice and young.
My first impression is he's quite handsome. I feel like he could turn up on Love Island and you'd think he fits in. I don't know much about him. Never heard of him. But
Groningen are really bad, aren't they?
They're poor. Yeah, they're fighting relegation.
Oh, that's great. Hang on, I need to find out if he is.
I think he starts. He must start. If that's a tier,
got to be.
He starts.
He's not finished.
0.0116 isn't quite.
It's pretty low.
Pretty low.
Mm.
Oh, because he scores like a drowning fisherman. That is. Wow.
It's probably more to do with Groningen being rubbish.
£15 for a tier 1 though. Is that what level we've got to now?
Trade it in for a Saka.
I'll have to be honest. I am fairly disappointed with that as a tier 1. But let's get a really nice Prem reward instead. 9th place, Premier League, Pro 270.
Up the toffees. Give him an Everton player, please.
Iwobi all day.
Portugal.
Not Ruben Diaz.
Oh, Diaz. Yes.
No! What a win!
When the content goes full circle.
Had to be.
That is insane.
Wow.
I'd be happy with that. That's
that is a fantastic win. Oh my god, double Sorare bomb for that.
That is very, very exciting. I will do a Sorare bomb for that. Here is my whiskey. Here is my lager.
That's insane. What a win! What a win! Yeah, cheers, mate. Cheers, boys.
Up the Diaz.
Of all the prizes, of all the men, had to be.
Tier 1 Premier League prizes are so much better than Tier 1 anything else.
£57 is his current floor compared to the Tier 1 goalkeeper. It was 15. So yeah,
and his price is only going to go up as well now he's back playing. Like that's a hell of a win that is.
So yeah, that's my strategy.
Hard for me to follow up my strategy after that, really. That buzz. So I'm sticking. You won't be surprised to hear I'm sticking to MLS for now until the next sale. My plan is to be involved in that through the summer, pick up some rares in MLS if I can to make them stronger. But ideally, I'll just pick up my rares for the Prem team. So when we come back after summer, I'm ready to go. I'm focus wise. I was 240 cap and 220 last week. Got nothing out of it at all. My 240 guys are now generally too high in scores, so I'm actually shifting my focus onto 270 cap. So limited 270 cap is going to be my primary target with the yellows, and then 240 cap is secondary, and that's just because I think $5 versus winning. I know you can win rares in the 240, but $5 versus being able to use my better players in the 270 for me, that's a no-brainer. And I'm still prioritising above the limited my ETH, call it the old ETH threshold team, the 240 cap rare, which I would have hit this week if it wasn't for El Trafico being called off and Hollingshead not playing. So yeah, I'm still set up for that. So 240 rare, 240 rare, 270 limited, and 240 limited. They're kind of the three areas of focus. And that's me. I'm keeping it simple. I'm going to try not to spend money on any Swiss players between now and the end of the summer. I'm going to try not to sell my gallery to Pavel or any of his friends between now and the end of the summer. Can't promise any of that will happen, but let's see.
I think you're right. I think you're right doing 270 as well, because like for limited that is, because if you've not got a lot of players to cover all the things, then winning like £4 or $4, whatever it is not really worth it, is it? Really?
I've got players like Gil, Zelarayan, Ferreira.
If you put Gil into 240, then you have to basically play someone who doesn't play to sort of counteract that. It's not worth it. So I think that's a good shout.
Not that the outcome would be any different, but at least there's a bit of thought to the method.
Not with that attitude, mate.
So last couple of bits. Toilet tip of the week, as we always do. John, do you want to kick us off? Who's your toilet tip of the week?
I've gone for. Oh, this is a really difficult one to say. I don't know if it's. Don't know how to say it quite, but it's Edward Pletinks. If you know him, yeah. So PLET. INCKX, I think.
PLECT.
There it is, that top one there. No, where you were. PLET. There we go. So he, I'm afraid I've been lazy again. He is once again someone I own. He's under 23. He's a really good young player. Plays for Belgian under 21s, or had done. Obviously, he's not under 21 anymore. But he's playing this weekend at home to Zulte Waregem, who is his old team from last year. So he's just joined Huvlian, whoever you say it. He's solid AA, as you can see from that screenshot. He's due a goal. He hasn't scored in flipping long time, but he's a danger from corners, I believe. So I just fancy him this weekend. He's my toilet tip. I'm going to be starting him against his former team. He's either going to score or he's going to get a red card and give away a penalty. So I'm guessing he's going to score.
You're picking him because obviously the toilet tip's kind of a player to flip for the week or a player to hit a score. So he's your scorer, right?
Yeah, he's my score. Yeah.
Nice. Ricky, who have you got as your toilet tip?
I'm going to go for Daniel Pereira at Austin, but then I had a couple of Discord inquiries earlier on from people asking to buy one of my players. So I had a little look into him, and I'm actually going to go for Christian Tarragona.
How do I spell Tarragona? Never heard of him.
Tarragona. There he is. A Gimnasia. He was Gimnasia's main man when they got him in, and he got a really bad injury last season. Really bad. It was up for a long time. But he used to put up really good scores. He's come back from injury now. Been coming off the bench even while he recovers. And he actually, I had the notification that he scored when he came off the bench at the weekend, but it must have been wiped out for whatever reason. But I think he's their main striker. When he was playing, he was banging indecisive. So yeah, he's easing his way back off the bench. He had a goal disallowed in the last game. So yeah, I would expect in the next few game weeks he'll be back in the starting 11. And for the price is the real reason.
Very cheap for rare, like for striker as well. And he's not that old. He's only 31. I mean, that's flipping 3-4 years younger than us. So
£3.28 for someone coming off a serious injury, but who will be back starting and leading the line. So yeah, value wise, get him in now, and then when he's back in the starting 11, the only way is up unless his knee goes again.
Get him in now before Rick buys them all. Hodor Mark II. What I like about him is his L15 is so low. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a thresh player all day, especially as a striker. As soon as he's playing 90 minutes for scoring,
yeah,
I like that a lot. I might have to pick one up. Actually,
he's bottomed out surely at that price. Like, I can't get him much, even at the current state of affairs in pricing. Like, he can't get much lower than that, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it. So, who am I going for? I'm going for, again, sticking with my theme. I'm going MLS. So I've picked Ibiega. I've picked him for two reasons. I mean, he could fit into category of scoring just because of his cost, but I've done him based on a flip, really. So he's transferred across from LA. He's currently £2.60 for a yellow, or 27 quid for a red. So even at market floor of market is 30 quid. He's a starting centre back, so he's transferred across to play. So for me, for a starter, that's super cheap to begin with. First game, clean sheet, hit 60, and his all round of 25. His previous scores.
Didn't even get a cleanie there, did he? I don't think.
I know, you're right.
Yeah. So that's even better, if anything.
No, he's gone to Dallas, mate. That was it. So yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, you're right. So he's historically, you couldn't really pick a lot from his scores because he didn't play. He was a sub or like bit part player. But if you go right back, he was still hitting like 15s, 20s, 25s in his AA. So I think he actually could be like a proper sleeper that you either buy and play initially, and then you can flip him. And I reckon you get 100% RI on him easy. He's going to be plus 50 again, unless this isn't financial advice and so rare might tank. But yeah, I like him a lot.
Good beard as well.
Just very strong beard.
Very
strong beard.
Usually a good sign.
So that is the end of the toilet tips for the week. Please do remember, toilet tips belong down the toilet, so this isn't financial advice. Next up is the new competition. Ricky T, would you like to introduce what new comp is?
Yeah. So we are going to give you a different way to win our cards. We thought we would start a private league. Let me share the code for all of you excited new joiners. It's called Thursday Club Beat the Boys. It's going to be refreshed monthly. So first one will be a short one in March because we've got the international window at the end. Premise is pretty simple. Join the league. Anyone that beats all three of us in a week, so finish above all three of us, and you're in the hat to win one of our cards. We'll put the card up that's going to be that week, or which selection the winning card can come from. Maybe it'll be a draw. And yeah, you just have to finish above us each week, and we'll draw a winner on the show in the following stream. You just have to subscribe to the podcast and join the league. And as a bonus, for each month, whoever's top of the league at the end of the month will win a rare card from us, and we'll put up what that card is at the start of each month, so you know what you're gunning for. So it will refresh each month. April will be season 2 of Beat the Boys League, and I'm guessing it's the first one that starts tomorrow. Really good chance for week 1 get yourself in early. Jesse is historically crap at picking his teams anyway, and John's an Everton fan. So really, I think you've only got to worry about beating me. And
I don't like this. If I beat you, do I win?
No, whoever comes bottom of us three has to do a Sorare bomb on stream when we do the results. So, a little bit of competition to keep us three interested as well. So here's the code. We'll post it on our Twitter later on as well. Get yourself in for week 1 and win some of our cards. Easy game. I imagine the number count will be pretty low for the first few weeks. You've got a solid chance. Get those Premier League teams in. And see what we got. Little tip from me: I fancy Tottenham boys over the next few weeks. I think they've got some good fixtures, and Arsenal this weekend obviously got a decent fixture as well. So yeah.
Who are Everton playing?
Oh well, whoever Everton play, just pick them.
I think we
Forest, wasn't it?
I think we folded actually.
Yeah.
I think Notts Forest stack is probably the way to go this week.
Good one.
There you are.
And on that note, are we set? Rhythm Wreck, are we all set up?
Yeah, so set his code NDLHI6. Get yourself in and finish above us, which shouldn't be too hard.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And then I think that's it. Then that's a wrap for episode 4. Thanks everyone for joining us. Get involved in our new league, as Rick's just said, and we'll see you all next week up the Thursday Club.
Bye everyone, up the Thursday Club.
Nice one, boys.